Hi, everyone. So, the habit of mind that we'll be talking about today is persistence. I think that's a particularly interesting one. I know a lot of you have persistence, and that kind of goes right along with what we've been talking about on grit and just kind of getting through things. So, I wanted to first talk about 6 reasons why it's important to be persistent. And then I wanted to give you some tips and strategies on how to be persistent. So let's start first with some reasons why it's important to be persistent. So if you're persistent, you've probably already figured out that you can achieve your long-term goals despite any obstacles that might come in your way, right? We set a goal, challenges come up, and then if we're not persistent, we may drop those challenges or we may drop those goals. The challenges might get the better of us, and then we don't make it to the end. But just knowing that you're here in this class, you've probably gained a certain amount of persistence that will ultimately lead to your success. So persistence can also build resilience. So overcoming these challenges through persistence builds this sort of mental toughness, this resilience that can make you more adaptable in difficult situations. So learning to be persistent in an academic environment can lead to learning to be persistent in all other types of environments. And I've found for myself, getting older and the health challenges that I've encountered, that persistence really helps build this resilience through those challenging times. Number 3, why it's important to be persistent would be that it increases your self-confidence. Every time you push through those challenges, your confidence grows, and you can prove to yourself that you can handle this adversity. You say, I've already handled things like this in the past, and I know I can handle them again. So it increases your self-confidence. So number 4, it develops skills and mastery. So consistent effort over time allows you to improve those skills, leading to expertise in a particular area. I know this is a hard one for those of us that are perfectionists. It's hard to maybe not be so good at something in the beginning and have to dedicate time to practice every day, becoming better at something, and to let go of the idea that we need to be good at it right away. Instead, we just will build that over time. And that can be difficult to do, but it pays off in the long run. Even 10 minutes a day of doing something builds a skill set that you can utilize in your future. And you'll notice a year later that you have all these wonderful new and beautiful skills that you can apply in your life. Number 5 would be that persistence creates opportunities. So persistence can often lead to these new and unexpected opportunities that might not have emerged without continued effort. So if you stop short of your goal, you might not make it to that next set point and find those new opportunities that arise out of just moving slowly over time through that goal. And finally, the last one I want to talk about on why it's important to be persistent is that it inspires others. And you can see through the classroom and our discussions that everyone's really engaged in the dialogue, and that probably motivates you and inspires you. And that inspiration, I know you bring into your family lives. I've heard students tell me often that they talk about the discussions with their family members and friends, and that is inspiring to them, and it encourages them to push forward in their own endeavors. So with that said, what are some tips on how to be persistent? So one thing that you can do is to set clear goals for yourself. So break those long-term goals into smaller, achievable tasks, which you probably have practiced doing, particularly if you are a military student or if you have been setting goals for yourself and achieving tasks for a long time. You've probably figured out how to break them down into smaller, more achievable tasks, but you want to have a clear vision of what you're working toward to make it easier to stay focused. So you want to develop a strong why. You want to understand your deep reasons for pursuing a goal, and this is going to help you to stay motivated when you come up against those challenges and obstacles. So you can go back to that why, that purpose for why you're doing something. How it hits your heart inside will make you want to keep going through those difficult times. Practice patience. So recognizing that success takes a long time, as I sort of said before, you have to chip away at it for a little bit of time each day, and that understanding that this gradual work is progress. And so it might not look like progress, and sometimes it seems like it's moving slow. So what I like to do is at the beginning of January for the new year, I make a list of all of my past year's accomplishments. And then as I go throughout the year, at the top of my journal, I also put the various things that I have accomplished. So in any given year, I can go back and see, wow, you really did do a lot that year. It really does add up. So that's kind of a tangible way of seeing what kind of progress that you've made, specifically during times when you feel like you're not making progress. It can be really motivating. You also want to maintain a positive mindset. So focusing on your progress rather than on your setbacks and celebrating those small victories will keep your spirits high. And that's important in your progress. Building a routine, establishing that daily or weekly routine with those habits that align with your goals, that will consistently build your momentum and make persistence easier. So you'll be more likely to stick with it. And then last but not least, one of the most important things I think is to surround yourself with support. Seek out mentors, friends, communities, reach out to your instructor, your boss in a professional setting, your spouse, if you're married or have a partner, all of these people who can encourage you, to push you to stay on track, even when things get tough. Definitely find that this is motivating and helps you to be more successful when you have a strong support system. So hopefully you found the video on this habit of mind can take you farther in your goals, and I look forward to seeing you in our next video.